Good day and welcome back to the Flying Doctor channel. Today we're at a very special place. Princess Juliana International Airport in St. Martin, the beautiful island of St. Martin. Did you know that Air France has two Airbus A320s stationed in the Caribbean? These two aircraft are here to help connect the different French territories within the Caribbean. I'm going to take a flight on one of those aircraft today, show you what the experience is like. So, sit back, relax, get ready for another flight review.
Princess Juliana International Airport is located on the Dutch side of the beautiful Caribbean island of St. Martin. Known for its runway that sits right next to a tourist-heavy beach, it's one of the most photographed airports in the world. In 2015, the airport handled just under 2 million passengers and around 60,000 aircraft movements. But in September of 2017, the airport suffered significant damage due to Hurricane Irma.
Approaching Saint Martin, the waterside concrete buildings gutted, as if some passing army has done its worst and moved on. The entire green forest slopes burned brown by blown seawater, every leaf stripped by Irma's passing.
The hurricane hit hard, causing extensive damage to the main terminal and the building's roof. Sand was washed up to parts of the main terminal, and the building's roof was extensively damaged. The terminal was rendered non-functional for more than 2 years. But the resilient spirit of the island didn't falter. The airport management began a major reconstruction project in October 2018 with an aim to rebuild the hurricane-hit terminal building and transform it into a modern airport. Originally scheduled to open in November of 2023, the pandemic delayed the opening of the new departure hall. Check-in was quite simple. After providing my passport, the ticketing agent looked up my name, checked me in, and printed my boarding pass before directing me towards the security check.
Boarding at 8:50.
Thank you.
Today we're taking a closer look at the Air France fleet of A320 aircraft based in the Caribbean. Air France's two locally domiciled Airbus A320s fly between Pointe-a-Pitre, Fort-de-France, Cayenne, Belém, St. Martin, Montreal, and Miami, operating more than 30 weekly flights between these regional economic centers. Immediately prior to taking the escalator to the departures level, passengers get a glimpse of the new check-in hall, which, as anticipated and published, looks modern, clean, and very nice.
Well, we're airside, security, and check-in with a breeze. And check this out. It seems they're making some good progress on renovations of the airport after the Hurricane Irma. So let's take a walk around, see how well the airport is doing. A few looks at some aircraft that we don't get to usually see. And then we'll hop aboard this Air France aircraft headed to Pointe-a-Pitre.
I made it airside just in time to catch today's aircraft touchdown. With that in mind, let's take a closer look at today's flight. Foxtrot Golf Kilo X-Ray Romeo is a 15-year-old Airbus A320. This plane has operated its entire life under the French flag, with a brief stint wearing a jaune livery, a short-lived Air France subsidiary targeting young people that lasted a mere 2 years. Today's quick flight will last just under 1 hour at 45 minutes and cover a total distance of around 260 kilometers. As I alluded to in the intro, Air France has stationed 2 A320s in the Caribbean to connect some of their overseas territories. If you ever find yourself daydreaming of getting back to the airport and flying, need a little background noise to drown out your surroundings, or are curious to see what it's like airside at various airports across the world, consider checking out my playlist called Rollerboard Diaries. I try to showcase the perspective a rollerboard luggage has when being dragged through the airport and give you a little history on the airport. With less than 50 passengers on today's flight, I anticipated we would stick to our scheduled departure. After crossing over the threshold of the aircraft, I was greeted by the FA. Sanitation wipes are available to passengers as they board, although it did not seem many were interested in using them. Similar to other intra-European business class layouts, the entire cabin within this particular aircraft is in a 3-3 layout. 8 seats within 2 rows at the front of the aircraft are dedicated to business class, meaning the middle seat of each row is blocked off. Atop the business class seats are a pillow and blanket, although I can't imagine many people make use of them on such a short flight. My seat was a few rows back, and as I threw myself into the seat, I was ready to watch the safety demo and all of the views outside the window as we back taxied and took off over Maho Beach.
Monsieur, bonjour, je suis Irma dans votre commande bord. Je suis accompagné de Monsieur Guillaume, chapeau pour société de Juliana, l'ensemble de l'équipage international pour se lever à bien. Gentlemen, good morning, Captain. Welcome aboard this Airbus A320 to Pointe-a-Pitre. With departure, flight time this morning 30 minutes, weather
Air France 609, runway 28 is approved via Charlie. Clear the backtrack runway 28, we're ready for departure. Backtrack 28 via Charlie, back ready for departure. Air France 609, departure turn left direct Zapata, runway 28, cleared for takeoff, it's 0713. Okay, we are clear for takeoff runway 28 after airborne with left Zapata. Air 609 to taxi to go to approach Loma 9.1, so long.
Now that we've reached our cruising altitude, let's take a closer look at the seat and amenities aboard today's flight. If you're my height or taller, you'll find the legroom is constrained, but doable on a flight like today's. An air sickness bag and safety card were the only items inside of the seat back pocket. While some of you may be familiar with safety cards such as these, to me it was a pleasant surprise to see such limited text. A fold-out cup holder is installed under the tray table, meaning you can use it without having the tray table folded down. The tray table itself was standard, but clean and free of heavy use markings. Up above are individual reading lights, air vents, and call buttons. If you hadn't noticed yet, today's aircraft is not equipped with seatback entertainment screens. The aircraft is Wi-Fi enabled, so be sure to download the Air France Play app on your device prior to departure. Let's check out the options we have once connected. Free messaging is included, but the cost to freely surf or stream content depends on the duration and type of service you opt for. Once I made it onto the actual app, I was faced with the inability to log into my Flying Blue account. Luckily, you do have the option to continue as a guest. I found it was very slow to load. As someone who relies more heavily on visual as opposed to textual-based indicators, I personally found it frustrating to select content because of this delay. Moreover, not all the options you see here are actually available, as some are paywalled. When it comes to snacks or beverages, the limited time in flight means no such service is provided, which to me wasn't that big of a deal. Soon after beginning our initial descent into Pointe-a-Pitre, the Caribbean blue waters off the coast of Guadeloupe began to emerge.
Ladies and gentlemen, may we only just make us pass on the jet till Siva. Please adjust that to the white soya.
The swells of water crashing against the shallow reef transitioned into a luscious green landscape as we lined up for final approach. Pointe-a-Pitre serves as the home airport for the two Air France A320s based in the Caribbean. When it comes to connecting to islands outside of the small Air France Caribbean network, passengers can fly with the Caribbean on Air Caraïbes, St. Barth Commuter, Sky High Dominicana, or Sunrise Airways.
Madame, Monsieur, bienvenue à Pointe-à-Pitre Airport du Pointe-Caraïbes. Il est 9h51 à l'heure locale. Vous pouvez nous appeler.
For destinations outside the Caribbean, JetBlue, American, Air Canada, Air France, Corsair, and French Bee shuttle passengers to North America and Europe. Prior to the pandemic, the aforementioned airlines and others shuttled just under 2.5 million passengers and had around 29,000 aircraft movements. These numbers made Pointe-a-Pitre the second busiest airport in the Lesser Antilles in 2019 after Queen Beatrix International Airport in Aruba.
Désarmement des toboggans, vérification de la porte opposée.
Pulling into the gate meant this aircraft made it back home. After a little rest and refueling, the aircraft would go on to Fort-de-France. As for me, I was planning on exploring the island a bit during my layover, but ended up spending 2 hours on the public bus thanks to a lack of planning. I did have the opportunity to get a glimpse into daily life within Guadeloupe, but didn't have enough time to really explore the island. If you enjoyed this flight experience review and are interested in other unique routes or airlines as documented from my perspective, consider liking this video and subscribing. As always, thanks for watching. See ya!